Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, sorry my bed's a mess. I am Allie, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed. So, um, I decided to talk about a topic that I have made videos about before, then taken them down, privated them. A topic that I, for the longest time, have had such a hard time dealing with and talking about and communicating to other people, and it has been weighing a lot on me lately, and it's been causing a lot of issues mentally for me. And then I went to the self-defense class earlier today, and it was an all-day thing, and it just was so empowering. And I kind of got to that point where I was like, yeah, this is something that I can talk about now, and this is something that I feel okay sharing with people and putting out there. So I was in an abusive relationship last year. I was in it for a year, a little over a year. And so for months now I've been like, yeah, I was in an abusive relationship. I know that. I know that I did things that I'm not very proud of, but I was in an abusive relationship. It's not my fault. Like, those type of conclusions are just coming out. Like, I knew I was in an abusive relationship, but I always thought that, like, I kind of deserved what went on in it, and I didn't really pinpoint everything that was really wrong with the relationship. I only, like, the very obvious things, you know? So if I'm talking funny, I'm sorry. I have a cold sore, and it hurts a lot. So we're going to start off from the beginning. So he started off super sweet. Our first, like, time that we hung out, we went to the beach, and it was, like, sunset. And this was back in December when I had first moved to Florida. And he took me to the beach. He took me on his motorcycle, and we, like, rode off into the sunset. You know, like, just a very picturesque date. We went to these playgrounds and stuff. It was something you would read out of a book. It was an awesome date. I don't even think we considered it a date at that time. We didn't consider it a date until later on in the relationship. But I went to his New Year's party. Things were awesome. He seemed pretty into me. And I was like, dude, this is, like, awesome. Like, he's, like, super into me. Around February, the beginning of February made it official, but the middle of February is when things got a little bit shaky. He cheated. And I know everybody's like, you couldn't have possibly felt that strong for him at that point in time that you would have stayed. But I did stay. We stayed kind of this weird, like, friends. Like, he was talking to her, but I stuck around and I was a side chick, which I don't recommend because it really beats you down. And from the start of this relationship, I wasn't, like, super confident, but I had a lot more confidence in the beginning than I did going out of the relationship. So, there were times that I personally didn't want to have sex with him or something like that, and he would just start touching me, and I'd be like, no, and he wouldn't stop, and then I would just kind of, like, cave because I want it to be over, and he'd be like, see, you wanted it, and I'm like, yeah, I guess so, like, I don't know, you know. And that's something that we talked about today. Compliance. Like, you have a plan in the back of your head, but you're, like, coming up with a plan in your head, but you're complying during the act type of thing when it comes to sexual harassment. And it does not make it any different. If you are being raped and you just slowly start complying so that it ends, or so that you don't get other people involved, or whatever it may be, you are still raped. You are still raped. If you ever said no and they didn't listen to you, you were raped. And I'm sorry, but you were. And there were just a lot of points in time like that, and especially with blowjobs, or And just things like that, like even the smaller acts, that's still not okay. They can't force you to do those things, and it really sucked for a long time like that. We would go places and he would tell people about the things that we had done, and it would make me feel embarrassed and humiliated, and I was really uncomfortable. We ended up getting back together in like April or something like that, and then in May we stopped seeing each other, but we were still friends. But I started seeing someone else and he was talking to other people, and I went on a date with this guy. He found out, he got pissed, and he would not let me leave his apartment. I wasn't allowed to leave, and I was supposed to be going to a family thing that weekend. I wasn't allowed to leave. If I tried to get up and out of bed, he would grab me and like hold me really close to him so that I couldn't leave. I tried to sneak away to the bathroom, and then I would try to get out of the bathroom, make my way that way. He wouldn't have it. I tried calling for help and such, and he reset my phone so that I couldn't get to anything. It wasn't even set up to a carrier, and I didn't have a phone or a computer or any other way to set it up to a carrier, so I was literally stranded there because I didn't know my way to my grandparents' house from there. He punched me in the back of the head. He tried to choke me at one point, to the point where he left bruises on my neck. Well, the next day when he did let me leave, I had to go to a family occasion with these bruises on my neck. And I didn't know they were there at first. I didn't look in the mirror. I was a wreck. But I was like that strong wreck. I was like that person, I got everything under control. I got this. It's going to be good. And all this time, I'm still trying to talk to him. After all that, I'm still trying to get in his good graces. I am apologizing my heart out. But he didn't apologize once to me. He didn't apologize at all for what he did. It was my fault. Well, word started getting around that he was doing these things, and my mom told other family members, and I was so humiliated. I remember calling up my mom and being like, "Mom, why would you do that? Why did you tell other people it's not your place?" I was embarrassed. I was letting someone do that to me. I was saying I love you to someone who was doing that to me. Well, I went back. Me and him, we made up. We got back together, because sane people do that. And come June, he decided that he wanted to beat that guy up, and he lured him out, and he swung at him, and the guy called the cops, and he got arrested and stuff like that. And when he first got out of prison, because I bailed him out of jail the next day, he was crying, and he was like, "Allie, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love you." And I truly believed it. I truly believed that he did. I truly believed. I was like, yes, I got the guy. He actually cares about me this time. He didn't. A week later, it was like, "Allie, you have to give me the $700 in court fees because this is all your fault. Allie, you're a piece of shit. Allie, you're worthless. Allie, you have no purpose. Allie, you're unmotivated. Allie, you're lazy. Allie, you're this. Allie, you're that." He would tell me that I could stay at his house, and then he would have friends over and tell me that I wasn't allowed upstairs and that I had to sleep in my car. Okay. And I just let this go on and on and on. In June, I tried to leave. I went back to Massachusetts, and he put me in this position where I felt like I had no power or anything like that, and I wanted him to like me, and I wanted him to want me, and I went back. after 3 days of being in Massachusetts. And I stayed there until September. In September, I found myself in the bathtub, not, like, everything was just hitting me, and I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't want to be there anymore. I hated myself. I hated everything about myself. And he was out on a date with some other girl at the time. And he had lied to me about this date, like, several times. I had gotten a flat tire, and he told me he was going to drive behind me to get to the place, and he ditched me. The day had been really rough, and, like, a mutual friend of ours had to come and help me with my tire because I couldn't get there because it wasn't safe for me to drive. But he didn't care. He was on a date. And he had left me on the side of the road. And I got back to his place, and I sat in the bathtub, and I cried. And it was kind of when it hit me that I had lost myself completely in this. And I needed to find my reason for living again. And so I booked a ticket, and I went back to Massachusetts. And I was like, I'm gonna come back. You know, I left my car with my aunt. I told my mom. I was like, and that Saturday I left. And when I got back up to Massachusetts, I just started slowly regaining myself and my composure. And he was still in the picture. He wasn't completely out of the picture yet. I tried to. I changed my number, actually, when I first got back, because I didn't want anything to do with him. And then, again, I just wanted his attention. For whatever reason, I wanted him to love me. We were on and off for months. He would come visit. Well, I would go visit him, and we would be happy for, like, the first day that I visited, and then the rest of the days we would argue like we used to, and then I would go home. And then December, we had plans to go to New York City for New Year's Eve, and I have a whole video dedicated to that experience, so if you want to know about that, because that was a shit show, if you want to know the whole story, you can go find that video on my channel. But long story short, he humiliated me in front of thousands of people, so, which I'm sure not everyone was paying attention, but it was a humiliating experience. And then January 20th, I remember, because it was my friend's birthday, he came and visited me, and I was just over it. I didn't want anything to do with him. I didn't want him here. I didn't want him meeting my family. I was embarrassed of him. I hated it. Well, I was finally in control, you know. I was actually the one in control. I was like, no, I fucking hate you. Like, I honestly just don't want anything to do with you. I'm sorry. Like, I was super civil about it. We said I love you, because I loved him. Like, a part of me always will. But he took pieces of me that I will never get back, and that was hard for me. So I decided to get rid of him completely that day, and I wasn't talking to him, and I was doing fine. And then he messaged me. He's like, how does it feel to have control? And then we talked a little bit, and then it was all like a game, like a mind game that he was playing to get the control back, and, like, it was bullshit is what it was. So here I am back where I didn't want to be, you know, caring about him and wanting his affection and his attention. Well, sorry about that. But I went to Florida to go pick up my car around the time of my birthday, and it was hard. It was rough. I talked to him and the girl that he A, cheated on me with, and B, is his new little thing. I don't know if they're still together. I don't really care much for it, but he was, I talked to him, and I don't know. It was a bad idea. She was like, I don't know what your issue is. Like, I don't know why you're so obsessed with him. And I'm like, well, he was my best friend. And I don't know. If you've been in a relationship like that, you kind of understand kind of where I'm coming from, I guess, where it's hard to kick the habit. But here I am sitting in June 2017, and I am so happy with where I am and the confidence and stuff that I'm gaining back, and like my job I love everything about the things that I'm doing, and I feel motivated and happy for the first time in so long. And I just wanted to share with you guys, I guess, my story. So if you have something similar, like, or if you're going through something similar, you can always message me. I'm always there to help. I'm still, you know, picking up pieces, but I am getting there, and like healing takes time, and like don't let anybody tell you differently. Like, it takes time, but it also takes like you can't just sit here and like heal. You have to put in the effort mentally and physically to get up and do things and put yourself out there and just heal. Like, you can't just do nothing and expect it to heal. You need to, if you need therapy, you need to get that therapy. If you need to go to like a self-defense class, go to that self-defense class. If you need to do things like that to get yourself where you need to be. Comment down below with any video suggestions that you have. I have a couple videos coming up. Like I said in my last video, I'm going to do a haul, a room tour. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have planned right now. See you all in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.